tells you what has been going on in the southeast. That innocent lives have been wasted, and they call them IPOB. They call them IPOB for no justifiable reason. Do you know that under the law, if you cock a gun and an innocent person, it's a crime on its own. Not to talk of telling an innocent man to lie down on the ground. That means if that mistake had been made, Moses, they will never own up. They will tell you it was IPOB that did it. That is what you would have had. They will tell you it was IPOB, especially when the DSS is involved. Then their hirelings and supporters will go to town. How can military kill DSS even when they show their ID card? It's not possible. It cannot be military. It cannot be Nigerian soldiers. They must find a way to excuse it. That's what would have happened. Because when you kill 1,000, you have dislocated another 10,000. Because it has ripple effect. When you kill a breadwinner of a family, you have killed that family. True or false? You have killed that family. So it's not about the number. It is the sheer audacity. You don't do that even in a military combat. In a war situation, when a man has surrendered and raised his arm, you dare not touch him. It's against the Geneva Convention. You still ask him to lie down. Dehumanization. There are so many crimes that was committed by these single events. I wish the man involved should take this thing up. Right to the chief of army staff.
Problems that we're talking about seems to be old enough, not even new, because they have persisted over the years. Mr. King, I don't know if you want to accept that figure, but I would want to take it with a pinch of salt because it's a lot. 32,300 civilians might have been killed by Nigerian soldiers in the southeast. How does that make you feel? Even if it's not exactly that amount, the thought of it alone
makes my blood cold, shivers run down my spine. However, Moses, to contextualize, what I thought I had was the NGO giving that number, alleged, they used the word alleged, and that they attributed the bloodbath to soldiers and local vigilantes. So which ones are soldiers, which ones are local vigilantes? One. Secondly, which ones are pretenders, which ones have gone like we have in other areas. But essentially in the southeast, people have just gone to don security uniform, perpetrating a lot of mayhem. I also know, and it may not be an exaggeration, Moses, because the NGO said, unless if I didn't hear it properly, it said 9 years. A lot of blood has gone down elsewhere, but particularly in the southeast, no doubt about that. We also know, and I hope the numbers that they are parading will be non-state actors who have had to go sack other residents who have decided to come out when they say no, you should not come out, and what have you. But all put together, it is horrendous, it's unacceptable. It therefore, in my honest opinion, calls for a rethink and a refocus on the security architecture that we have everywhere, but particularly in the southeast.
Are Igbo people under attack in the present Nigeria?
Yes.
Who is attacking them?
The federal government is attacking them.
Tell me more.
Okay. The southeast geopolitical zone was destabilized by Abuja.
How?
Well, it started with police stations being attacked. You go to some place like Imo State, they attack the police station. The military, this thing is that of Obins, they are just minutes away. Other military formations are there. They sack the prison. Nobody will do anything. All over the east.
Who was sacking the prisons, attacking the police stations?
Those people who were organized to attack those police stations and prisons were releasing prisons. That was where it started.
IPOB?
No, I'm not saying IPOB. I said those thugs who were attacking were doing those. But the central point I'm making is that you can't have a government in place and they sack a police station today, no defense. They sack a second one tomorrow, no defense. They sack 10 police stations in the state, no defense.
Chief Iluagbunam,
This thing
who was
happened
attacking the police stations? Is it IPOB?
You asked me that question. I said,
yes,
no, I don't attribute those attacks to them. The people who should have answered their question are the government functionaries who had the means and the wherewithal to counter those attacks. But that was leading to answering your question, the destabilization of the Southeast geopolitical zone. Okay. Now, when Buhari was military head of state, he organized with some ex-Israeli security agents to go and kidnap Umar Diko in London and bring him back to this country. They kidnapped Umar Diko. They took him to Stansted Airport. They created him, drugged him. But the Scotland Yard Police Department, they found out and released the man. 30 years later, when he became civilian head of state, he went to Kenya and seized Nnamdi Kanu and brought him back here. That is at the heart of the instability in the country now. The Supreme Court has said, release this man. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority. If you release Nnamdi Kanu today, I tell you, the chances of peace returning will be 90%. Why? A lot of the disorder you see in the Southeast zone now is tied to sit at home.
Who ordered sit at home in the first place?
When it started, when it started, it was IPOB. Initially, at that time, nobody was forced to sit at home. People did it willingly, who liked. If you didn't like, you went your way, nobody disturbed you. Now, you have multiple voices ordering sit at homes. There's one fellow who is in Finland.
Simon Ekpa.
He orders sit at home. Sometimes he said people should buy food stuff and stay indoors for 2 weeks. Such ridiculous things. There are all kinds of names, some of them nicknames, ordering sit at home, sit at home, sit at home.
Should we accuse Nnamdi Kanu of instigating the crisis and the instability in the Southeast?
Now, if you want to do that, you have the freedom to do that. You have the freedom to accuse any other person you like. But I'm not going to be party to that kind of antipathy. That's not the way I function. I'm telling you, ask me a question, and I'm answering. Abuja destabilized the Southeast zone. They can stabilize it again by releasing this man who the Supreme Court said
he was released before. Did that bring peace to the Southeast?
After he was released, what happened?
What happened?
They went to his father's house and sacked the place, killed people and destroyed the whole place.
Before the father's house was sacked, what happened?
I don't know what happened. Tell me what happened. I'm not a tape recorder.
Because you live in the Southeast. You are a village man.
I don't live in Abia State.
But you
and whatever is in the news, if you are in Scotland, you will see it. You will know it. If you are in South Africa, if you are in Bermuda, you will still know. So you will also know that.
I know Chuksule Bunam is a village man.
Yes, I am a village man.
He lives in the village.
I do.
He understands what goes on in the Southeast.
I understand what goes on in my village.
Your ears are on the ground.
Your ears are also on the ground. Are they not? Your ears are also on the ground.
So Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu now. That is what you are saying.
Yes, because people who have similar charges like himself have been released. So already he's in freedom back into the US. This other guy of the Mieti there is in freedom and do whatever is his business in northern Nigeria. And this man, the Supreme Court has said, release this man. So you have got to be told why they think that this man cannot be released. And let me make a final point why I'm saying these things. I believe that there will be some kind of order. Everybody claims to be IPOB. Everybody claims to be ESN. We don't know who is who because we are not members of their organization. But I'm saying that if you have Nnamdi Kanu out and he says, cease sit at homes, any other alternate voice that comes in will be dealt with.
But he has said it from the courts.
They said they didn't believe him, that he wasn't the person who said it. It is not... They said they don't believe it, that he's under duress, that he's still in captivity. Bring him out.
And hopefully Tinubu will bring him out.
Yes, hopefully.
The Igbo nation is speaking up.
In fact, if I were the man, I won't wait for the Igbo nation to do the right thing. I will do the right thing and wait for them to applaud me if they like. If you have the right thing to do not wait to be told before you do the right thing.
When you first heard this news, we've talked about the militarization of the Southeast. Well, this involving both soldiers and vigilante. You are from that part of the country. How does it make you feel?
Moses, bad. The mere thought that you have to travel with DSS escort. Is it everybody that can afford it? Even with that escort, look at what happened. You can imagine. That tells you what has been going on in the Southeast. That innocent lives have been wasted and they call them IPOB. They call them IPOB for no justifiable reason. Do you know that under the law, if you cock a gun and an innocent person, it's a crime on its own. Not to talk of telling an innocent man to lie down on the ground. That means if that mistake had been made, Moses, they will never own up. They will tell you it was IPOB that did it. That is what you would have had. They will tell you it was IPOB, especially when DSS is involved. Then their hirelings and supporters will go to town. How can military kill DSS even when they show their ID card? It's not possible. It cannot be military. It cannot be Nigerian soldiers. They must find a way to excuse it. That's what would have happened. Because when you kill 1,000, you have dislocated another 10,000. Because it has ripple effect. When you kill a breadwinner of a family, you have killed that family. True or false? You have killed that family. So it's not about the number. It is the sheer audacity. You don't do that even in a military combat. In a war situation, when a man has surrendered against his arm, you dare not touch him. It's against the Geneva Convention. You still ask him to lie down. Dehumanization. There are so many crimes that was committed by this single event. I wish the man involved should take this thing up. Write to the chief